This is NBC 12 News.
A good Saturday morning to you. Thank you for tuning in to 12 News Today. I'm Brent Solomon. Let's get things started with a check on your forecast. Meteorologist Samantha Roberts joins us from the First Warning Weather Center. Good morning to you, Sam.
Good morning, Brent. Coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Sam. It's going to be a warm one out there. Let's get you caught up now on some headlines. In just about an hour, it is sure to be an emotional graduation for students and their families over at Sweetbriar College. Although the ceremony begins in just a few hours, do not expect to see the school's president there. James Jones Jr. says he will not participate because of threats by some faculty and even alumni. The 114-year-old women's college expected to close its doors in August, all because of finances. And after months in the courtroom, a jury has sentenced Boston bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev to death. He will likely be spending all of his time at a U.S. penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana. Friday's verdict by a jury marked the first time in the post-9/11 era that federal prosecutors have won the death penalty in a terrorism case. Many of the victims affected by the bombings are actually in favor of the death sentence. And of course, the impact of that sentence is strong right here at home. With Tamerlan Tsarnaev buried in Doswell, we sent Mike Valerio to check in with Martha Mullen. You might remember, that's the woman who found a final resting place for Dzhokhar's older brother. Thank you, Mike. Now, it is important to note that even with the death sentence, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's mandatory appeal will take a decade or even longer. We have stayed committed to bringing you the latest in the Boston bombing trial since day one, including the second we learned the verdict. You got the news when we did if you have our breaking news app. It's free to download in the App Store for your smartphone or even your tablet. Happening now, police in Virginia Beach looking for a robbery suspect considered armed and dangerous. Police say at about 7:30 Friday night, two men robbed two women at gunpoint. Shortly after, police found the suspects at a cell phone store. Officers say they took a hostage and then left that store. Well, they made a run for it, leaving the hostage free and unharmed. But that's when a chase began, and at some point shots were fired. Police actually hit one of the suspects several times. No word yet on their condition. One of those suspects, however, is still on the loose. No officers were hurt. And Jesse Matthew will go on trial next month as scheduled on charges connected to that 2005 attack and sexual assault in Fairfax. Yesterday, a judge denied a defense request for a delay. Matthew's attorney said she just needed more time to review thousands of pages of documents, but a judge said it's time to get that trial underway. Matthew is also charged with murder in the death of UVA student Hannah Graham. Developing now in Henrico, a string of prostitution arrests in just the past few days, and it has business owners there speaking out. Take a look at this. Police have actually busted at least 6 different people in the past week. The latest happening off Lakeside Avenue at Oriental Spa Massage. Now that business manager is speaking out to our Chris Thomas.
Henrico.
Thank you, Chris. Now police say this is an ongoing operation across the county. Stay with us for updates. Also in Henrico, police arrest a woman for failing to break up a fight between minors. Take a look. Police say 37-year-old Keisha McDonald egged on that fight between juveniles instead of trying to stop it. Officers ended up taking out a warrant for her, the charge contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And now to Chesterfield, where an elementary student is accused of bringing a homemade weapon to school. It happened at Bellwood Elementary. Police say a student had a screw with duct tape at the end of it. We're told the child did not threaten anyone with it, nor did he wave it around, but take a look at this. School leaders released a statement saying they take seriously their responsibility to provide a safe learning environment free from disruption. Students who violate student conduct, they're subject to suspension or even expulsion. And if the offense is a violation of the law, those students could be prosecuted. All right, you are taking a live look now at how the traffic is flowing in downtown Richmond. So far, it's looking pretty calm on the roads, but expect this to change soon with thousands of people heading to Dominion River Rock. For more on your Saturday morning commute, let's turn to Candace Smith, who has everything you need to know.
Good Saturday morning to you.
And we thank you, Candace. Your time, 9:08. We're just getting started on 12 News Today. We want to say thank you. So many of you contacted a Colonial Heights animal shelter to help these dogs that may be in danger. all a result of Kurt Autry's live reports here on 12 yesterday. Coming up, an update on the effort to find these dogs' homes. And Samantha's with us.
Yeah, we're tracking.
Sure do. You need to look at my car. All right, we're having fun this morning. You see Sam waving her hand to Mariah Carey, I think. This morning's headline is on social media. You can follow it. Follow myself, Sarah Bloom, Sam, and Candace to stay on top of things. We're up to the minute you're up. We want to warn you that this video may be hard for actually some of you to watch. A school bus dragging an elementary school student down the street. This happened in Louisville, Kentucky. Police say the child's backpack got stuck in the door as she tried to exit. Well, the driver pulls away, dragging the girl about 100 feet before realizing what's happening here. A homeowner surveillance video captured the Friday afternoon incident.
Wow, really?
The child now has road rash, but is expected to be okay. All right, here's some information every Henrico student and their parents need to know. There could soon be major changes to how students are disciplined there, and even when they can use their cell phones at school. Ashley Mumford has details on what school leaders are considering right now. Great information, Ashley. If you'd like to take a look at the entire proposal, you can see it for yourself. We have a link. Just visit NBC12.com and click on All Access. Developing now, we've learned the statewide SOL testing system was down for about an hour this week. We contacted the State Department of Education. We're told 109,000 students were testing. Of those, about 243 will have to retest. All other students either waited for the system to come back up or logged back in after the interruption and completed their test. Well, the department also tells us on Wednesday they had another issue where some 89 students out of 103,000 were told they also have to retest. Well, our efforts at the Colonial Heights Animal Shelter to profile dogs who have been there the longest may already be paying off. There were almost 20 calls on the shelter's machine when we left on Friday evening from people inquiring about these dogs. Colonial Heights rarely is forced to euthanize for space purposes, but many taxpayer-funded shelters in Virginia do. The key, according to Police Captain Keith Early, is having a great staff that knows who to call when space gets tight.
Our staff.
Well, the shelter is open from 9 a.m. until 3, and the folks there would love to hear from you. Also happening today in Henrico, busy there. In just a few minutes, delicious Lebanese food will hit Glen Allen. The 31st Annual Lebanese Food Festival kicks off at St. Anthony's Catholic Church at 10. Now, if you're not hungry, you can take part in some of the authentic Lebanese music and dancing there. Sure to be a good time. All right, you're taking a live look now at the James River in South Richmond. We're off to a warm start, though. Perfect for all of today's events like Dominion River Rock. Time now for a complete check on the forecast. Sam, people still need to be careful, maybe even drink some water.
Yeah, it's going to be really hot. Brent.
All right, Sam, thank you so much. The busy summer moving season is upon us. Scam artists, though, and even imposters, they're pretending to be moving companies and they're looking to take advantage of you. Be sure you select a certified professional mover if you need any assistance. The Better Business Bureau urged customers to get at least 3 written in-home estimates in order to make an informed decision and get all agreements in writing. Also, try to get copies of everything you sign. Well, today is Armed Forces Day, so Harley-Davidson will begin its free Learn to Ride program to those who serve and to those who have served our country. The program is open to active duty and retired service members, reservists, and veterans. It runs until mid-September, so contact your local Harley-Davidson dealer if you're interested in that. All right, time now, 9:21. Make sure you stay with us. I want you to hear how thieves tie up employees and make them fork over some cash. It was all caught on camera. The details on this bold robbery right after the break. 12 News Today continues in 3 minutes. Welcome back. Get a good look at this. A daring robbery caught on camera. 3 suspects start pointing guns at employees at a Phoenix business. The suspects actually bound and held one employee at gunpoint on the floor, while another employee was forced to unlock the safe. Police said that at one point, one of the suspects fired a handgun into a wall. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Right now, the thieves still on the loose. Well, in a time of heartbreak, a Richmond family turns to each other for comfort and support. This morning, Adonijah Hill is in the hospital battling a rare form of cancer that required surgery to remove a tumor. Adonijah is the single father of 4 children ages 6 to 18. His wife died in December. We talked to his family, and even as they worry for their brother's future, this family's determination really is an inspiration.
And that matters.
Well, there's the chance Adonijah may be left partially disabled. If you would like to reach out and help this family, just look for this story on NBC12.com. All right, here's what we're working on for 9:30. New developments overnight on the search and rescue mission for 6 U.S. Marines in Nepal. And the FBI now getting involved in that investigation of the deadly train derailment in Philadelphia. We'll take a look at these top stories and much more when you join us in just a few minutes. Good morning to all of you at home. Hope you're nice and comfy getting ready to start your day. I tell you what, one of the Richmond area's best meteorologists on your screen right now with a closer look at what you need to know. Hey, Sam.
Well, thank you. Best toss ever. Let's
Hey.
take a live look outside. Good morning to you.
All right, Sam, looking forward to it. New overnight, an Egyptian court sentences former President Mohamed Morsi to death for his role in a prison break. 15 other defendants also received the death penalty for that 2011 incident. Morsi briefly rose to power in 2012 as Egypt's first democratically elected president, but he was overthrown just a year later. Also new while you were asleep, Nepal's army says all 8 bodies that were on board that U.S. Marine helicopter, which disappeared this week during a relief mission, have all been recovered. Recovery teams found the wreckage of the missing U.S. Marine helicopter on rugged terrain in a mountainous area of Nepal. Nepal is trying to get things back to normal after 2 deadly quakes that killed nearly 9,000 people. Happening today, family, friends, and the law enforcement community all gathering to say goodbye to a fallen officer. LaCorey Tate's funeral will be held later today. Hundreds actually lined the streets for miles in Mississippi to honor his memory on Friday. Tate is one of 2 officers fatally shot during a traffic stop 1 week ago. 7 people have been arrested in connection to this case. And a storm supercell over western Nebraska put on an impressive display of lightning and hail on Friday. Check it out. There were reports of golf ball-sized hailstones. The storm did not produce any tornadoes, but wind speeds did get up to more than 70 miles per hour. Now, thankfully, there were no reports of any injuries. And a lot of late-breaking developments in the investigation into that deadly Amtrak disaster in Philadelphia. For the first time on Friday, investigators interviewed that engineer who was in control of the train. Now the FBI is involved trying to determine if the train was hit by a rock or even shot at before the crash. For more, we go to Tom Costello. And I was on the ground there in Philadelphia for you this week. What we're learning now, the NTSB is looking at video camera footage from both trains, looking for any signs of a projectile. An assistant conductor says she thought she heard the engineer saying train 188 had been hit, but she couldn't be sure. Right now, the man who allegedly shot George Zimmerman earlier this week is in police custody. Matthew Apperson faces aggravated assault charges. He turned himself into police on Friday evening. Officers say Zimmerman was in Florida for Mother's Day when Apperson intentionally fired his gun into Zimmerman's truck. Zimmerman was hit in the face with glass and debris. He is doing okay. Apperson's bond was set at $35,000. And Bluebell Creamery says it will lay off a third of its workforce following a halt in production due to a listeria outbreak. 750 full-time employees and 700 part-time workers all losing their jobs. Another 1,400 employees are being furloughed. We're waiting to find out if this will impact workers at the distribution center near Richmond's airport. Production plants in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas have been closed since April. Developing now, investigators are looking into Child Protective Services of Augusta County, Stanton, and Waynesboro. The News Leader reports hundreds of messages to the department's child abuse line were being ignored and even erased. The agency's director says the problems all surfaced when they started looking at ways to improve their phone answering service. It was around that time a pediatrician spoke out saying he was unable to even report an abuse case. Well, the director of the Shenandoah Valley Social Services Department says understaffing and miscommunication may be to blame here. All right, your time is 9:37 now, but there's still much more ahead on 12 News Today. Whether you're into explosive action or just competitive singing, there's something for everyone hitting theaters this weekend. Up next, we'll break down all the new releases in the 12 at the Flicks report. And then Sam is back with us.
Yeah, we're taking a look.
Good morning. Your time is 9:40. Are you up and about? It's a nice day out there, and we have some news for you. A whole lot of new flicks hitting theaters this weekend. The film that made Mel Gibson a household name gets a reboot, and the Bellas are back. Raphael Seth has more in this week's 12 at the Flicks. Thank you, Raphael. Well, millions of music fans are mourning the death of an icon and legend, B.B. King. Up next, I'm taking a look at his legacy and impact right here in the River City. And we're still following this morning's top stories on social media. I just spoke with someone on Twitter. So be sure to follow and like us because we're always up to the minute. The very minute you're up. There you have it. He is considered one of the best blues players to ever walk Earth. Millions of music fans now mourning the death of B.B. King. With his trademark guitar known as Lucille, King won 18 Grammys and even received the Medal of Freedom in 2006. He was very active, performing as many as 300 nights a year, including appearances right here in our area. I talked with those inspired by King's life. His music could speak in ways words could not, influencing Richmond musician James Plunky Branch.
His words became very expressive because he didn't cloud the music with the words.
Kind of like this.
I got the blues this morning, 'cause the king has gone.
What about him made him what we call a legend?
Well, I'm going to define a legend as somebody who lasts more than a generation. He has a number of clubs named after him. A little bit earlier than that, he has more than 50 albums.
King known not just for the millions of records he sold, but also for his live performances, like when he played right here at Innsbruck After Hours in 2013.
And we had to move vehicles out of the way to get his bus up to within about 5 feet of the stairs to get on stage.
Larry Krieger was in charge of the booking and recalls interacting with the late great.
You could see when he was getting off the bus and up the stairs he was in pain, but man, the second he put his foot in that stage, it was like the pain all just dropped away.
It's perhaps that infectious energy that will be missed most from King's biggest fans.
It's a sad, sad day. Just it shows you bone.
All right, some good music there. B.B. King suffered from diabetes and had been in declining health during the past year. He even collapsed during a concert in Chicago last October, later citing dehydration and exhaustion. Well, former presidential candidate Mitt Romney leading the fight to improve health care in poor neighborhoods. Literally, he's stepping into the boxing ring against former heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. Of course, all of this is for charity. Friday night's fight raised about $1 million.
Have a great day, everybody.
Good stuff, Mark. All right, remember, you can always find your latest news and your weather updates from Sam, all on our website, NBC12.com.
And we'll be right back with a last look at your forecast. Storm later today.
Sam, thanks for keeping us posted, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 6 a.m.